What's going on, everybody? Luke is an extremely strong character, and in this video I'm going to give you some tips for dealing with him. So let's get the most obvious problem out the way, his crouch and medium punch buffer. What makes this move strong as a buffer move is that it leads into a lot of damage, so you have to be careful. Usually Luke will throw this out at a range where your most likely button will whiff, so if you walk forward slightly longer than he anticipates, you can potentially counter hit his crouching medium punch. Also, there's a lot of heavy normals that give you good reward on punish counter. So if Luke is at a range where he's trying to whiff punish your medium normals, your heavy normal may punish counter his crouching medium punch. Another strong tool against it is your own buffer move. A lot of characters have strong crouching medium punch buffers themselves, so you could fight fire with fire. This is also really strong against a standing medium kick. Whiff punishing his standing medium kick on reaction is very tough for a lot of characters, so buffering against it is a better option. Standing medium kick is also weak to drive impact, but be careful with this. Luke is most likely to use standing medium kick if any of you have low drive meter. After Luke drive rush cancels and you block a crouching light punch, if you think he's gonna throw, then back jumping is honestly not a bad option. If Luke reads your jump and punishes it with a combo like this, he doesn't get Oki unless he uses drive rush again, which is pretty costly for him. Luke doesn't have fireball traps like other characters, so if he does 2 Sandblasts back to back too often against you, your jump in will always punish his second Sandblast after you block the first one. Also, don't do 2 fireballs back to back against him, because his level 1 super is really strong at beating fireballs. In his medium Sandblast range, as you're attempting to parry his Sandblast, you should also do a delayed drive rush, because sometimes Luke likes to purposefully whiff a light Sandblast to make you waste meter, but if you have a decent drive rush, you can punish his light Sandblast this way. You should almost always interrupt Luke's forward heavy punch target combo with a 4-frame normal. However, Luke does have Meaty setups in the corner where this target combo becomes a frame trap, so if you see him with a crouching light punch to set up this Meaty, then I don't recommend interrupting it. Alternatively, a lot of Lukes like to do a Meaty standing heavy kick, but this is never ever plus on block, unless you're in burnout. It's always at best 0 on block, so you should usually mash your 4-frame normal to trade with his 4-frame normal. He could attempt a perfect parry against your 4-frame, but first of all you can also perfect parry him, and you could also delay tech to throw him out of his parry into the corner, so it's pretty risky for him to perfect parry. In the corner, Luke likes to do standing heavy punch into heavy Sandblast. This is usually +1 on block, so depending on the range, he can usually interrupt your buttons with crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, or sometimes even another standing heavy punch. You should almost always try to perfect parry the heavy Sandblast to punish him with a 14-frame normal or faster. If you mistimed your parry, your normal won't come out. Without cancelling, Luke's standing heavy punch is unsafe, it's -5 if it's spaced. So since Luke will almost always cancel into something, you can also interrupt him with an ODDP or level 2 or 3 super, but never do a drive impact after blocking a standing heavy punch. Against heavy Charged Knuckle, I don't recommend drive impact. Instead, I recommend using a well-timed long-range light attack. The timing for a jump is easier, but you'll have less time to react. If you want to use drive impact, you have to be really aware of his super meter. If he has level 3 or barely builds the level 3 with the Charged Knuckle, then he can punish your drive impact. You will usually not have enough time to check his super meter as he's charging his knuckle. Whenever Luke combos you, mash drive impact whenever you see him charge his knuckle. If it was a medium knuckle and he charged it too long, the combo will drop and your drive impact will punish him. He can technically punish you with level 3 super, but most Lukes will not be ready to do it in time. After a mid-screen throw, Luke can use drive rush to threaten you with a meaty tick throw. You can preemptively buffer the motion of your reversal to react against this drive rush, and Luke cannot block it. But keep in mind that Luke can make most DPs whiff by whiffing a throw, for example. He can also ODDP or super through many other supers if he didn't commit to a meaty button out of the drive rush. To get a tick throw after back throwing you into the corner or after his level 3 super, Luke also needs to use drive rush. In these knockdowns, he cannot make your DPs whiff, but he can punish them with a drive impact. Also, after mid-screen forward throw, if you do a regular recovery, he can't make your ODDP whiff either. But if he knows that you're going to do a regular recovery, then he can do a meterless throw loop. So against his raw drive rush, unfortunately I can't give you super helpful tips because Luke has an insanely strong drive rush. The best tip is to stay in his drive rush crouching light punch range and really look for his drive rush and check it with a light attack. But this is a very hard reaction in my opinion. Outside of his crouching light punch range, he will instead use crouching medium punch, which is also super hard to check. But what's even worse at this range is that since he'll use fast medium buttons to check him, his back heavy punch usually will make your medium button whiff and punish counter you. Back heavy punch is also +1 on block, so while you can interrupt his throw, he can frame trap you with his crouching light punch. If you have a hard read against his back heavy punch, you can use longer range normals to easily interrupt it. The good news is that he usually can't throw you if you block his crouching light punch or crouching medium punch. His drive rush standing medium punch is also +1 on block, but it's fairly easy to check and you can also walk back from his throw. By the way, I made a whole video about how to deal with his standing light punch target combo, and also his forward heavy punch target combo works the same way, so check it out if you don't know how to deal with the cancels.